So it's about 3:30 and that means it's time for afternoon chores. And here's Henry.
Hello.
Henry is the turkey master. I just have to put on my boots. You wouldn't believe how hard it is to do some simple things when you have a camera in your hand. Hillary just took the kids out for ice cream. And we're gonna do chores. And then we're gonna barbecue pork chops and venison tenderloins for dinner, along with green beans from the garden. Henry, you had an easier time putting your boots on, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay. Boots are on, let's go. I'm gonna go out. And I have to feed the pigs. And take care of the cows. And Hillary, Grace, and Henry will feed the chickens and the turkeys and collect any stragglers' eggs that didn't get picked up at noontime. And then it'll be time for dinner. So, my job for afternoon chores is in the barn. In the barn. And in the barn right now we have a couple of yearling heifers that we're going to grow out and send to the butcher. So they're separated from the main herd because we don't want the bulls to breed them. And then Rose. Rose is about a 5-year-old cow who didn't have a calf this year, even though she was with the bulls for quite a while. So we called the breeder today, and we're going to have him come and pregnancy check her to see if she's pregnant. And if she's not, then she will probably go to the butcher this winter. But don't tell her that. The pigs are in here. Well, calves were in here. They tend to move stuff around a lot. These are our breeding pigs. This is Little John the boar. Smile for the camera, Little John. And this is Missy, who I call Swiss Miss. She's a good old sow. She's due in actually less than a month. They're a little hot today, I think. We have these fans overhead. And I need to turn them on. And I will just as soon as I get done talking here. This is Red. Red is almost a year old. And she should be pregnant with her first litter. And she's due about a month behind Missy. So I have to water them and give them some feed. I usually clean out their pens in the morning. I do poop patrol and try and keep things nice and clean because pigs have parasite problems. Mainly we have problems with roundworms, so we have to give them a dewormer a couple times a year, and we try to keep things clean so that they don't pick up parasites. So while I was in the barn introducing the pigs, Hillary and the kids came out to take care of what we call field chores, which is feeding the layers and the broiler chickens and the turkeys. So say hi to Hill. And here's Henry.
Hi.
And Grace is the chicken master. Afternoon chores are pretty simple for the layers. It's just a matter of feeding and watering them. And collecting any eggs that are left from between noon and now. Say hi, Grace.
Hi. You need this?
Yeah.
Okay. Where's
Right.
the hose? Is it at the turkeys?
No, it's you gotta pull it over from over there now. Well, what? Get some feed for the turkeys.
So we'll head out and see the turkeys. And Henry takes care of the turkeys in the afternoon. When Hillary get up and do chores, Hillary and I get up and do the chores in the morning. Depending on when it gets light, we're usually, at the height of summer, we're out at about 6. And about 6 now, a little after here in August. But the kids aren't up yet, so we take care of the morning chores by ourselves. And then Grace and Henry help with the afternoon chores. So here's Henry and the turkeys. These turkeys are a little over 5 weeks old, and we put them on pasture last week. We brought them out of the brooder house. Turkeys are great because they like people. They're always curious what you're up to. We moved these guys this morning. So they've been checking out their new digs. They were over in that spot where the other fence is, and then we moved them here to new grass. And there's an interesting story behind the basketball hoop and the lights that you see up here in the pen, or in the ark, I'm sorry. The ark that the turkeys roost in at night. Last year we had some problems with predators, and mostly at night, and we figured out it was owls, and we didn't know how to stop a flying predator. The fence is electrified, but that's not going to stop an owl. So what we wound up doing is putting different things in the pen, like the basketball hoop here, and the lights, and we alternate. So the basketball hoop goes different places every day, and then we'll alternate Christmas lights, and we have a spotlight up there. We have one of those projector lights that people use for Christmas that puts an image on a wall. We project that up onto the turkey ark roof. And the turkeys are only susceptible to things like owls really for their first 2 or maybe 3 weeks on the pasture. Then they're too big for anything to bother them. So this has worked so far. In fact, last year we even had a bottle-fed calf that we brought out with the turkeys in the first week, and we penned him up here, and he was our guard calf, and he did a good job at keeping the owls away for quite a while. So Henry's job, I guess, is done already. Did you already water him, Henry?
Yeah, it's pretty much full usually.
Ah, so this fence is electrified. And Hillary's going to feed the broilers. And I'm going to head back in the barn and take care of the pigs. These guys are hot. Of course, pigs don't sweat. They can pant, but the reason that they wallow in the mud is so that they can cool themselves off. So fans help, and then I'll hose them down when it's hot out in the afternoon. They get by all right. Guys. Here are the pigs. got 13 pigs out here, and 8 of them are going to the butcher next week, the pink ones. And then the black and white ones got a few more months to grow. They'll go in October. You can see they're thirsty and hungry. And they eat like pigs. We'll go out and check on the cows quick. They usually don't need anything in the afternoon. Their drinker over here is got a float valve in it so it stays full. This is Orden the bull, who just got turned loose when we put the herd back together today after breeding. You can see the flies are bothering him. And he's been headbutting with the other bull all day today, trying to establish who's dominant, and the other bull I think is winning the challenge, but that might go on for a couple days, so we'll see how it goes. When we put the herd back together after breeding with the 2 bulls, they're separate, you know, so we put the cows with each bull that we want them to breed, and we leave them that way for, we like to do 6 weeks, but this year it was 4 because the bulls were making such a fuss, and we just got tired of hearing them whine all the time. So after 4 weeks we put them back together today, and the herd's reestablishing its pecking order. So cows have been having pushing matches and headbutting contests, and the bulls have been going at it. About the only peaceful ones are the calves. As long as they can find where their mom is, they seem to be all right with this. But we'll go out and check on them. Looks like it might rain, hopefully. And of course they've got some complaints, but I don't think any of them are valid because Hillary and I gave them a new strip of pasture late this morning, so they should be fine. But we'll go out and see. This fence that I'm walking along now here is a temporary fence that we call the back fence, and we moved that ahead to keep the cows from going back over the pasture they were on so that the grass can regrow. And you can see it goes down the line here to the other edge of this pasture. This field's about 5 acres, and then the cows are in this strip, and we move this forward fence here. Ooh, that's thunder. We move this every day for a new strip, and it's pretty good stuff that they're eating now. There's a lot of alfalfa growing in it. With the dry weather, alfalfa tends to take over and grow faster than the other grasses because it's deep rooted. But the other grass is coming along nicely too. And we just undo these reels and drive the fence post in down the line and move the cows. So aside from the flies, they'll have enough to eat till tomorrow morning, I think. And the bulls will continue to be unhappy until they iron out their differences. So that pretty much does it for afternoon chores today. When we're busy, afternoon chores tend to get squeezed in between things because they don't take as long as the morning chores. And if we have hay to do or some project moving the livestock, usually the kids can take care of quite a bit of it. And or if I'm out busy on the tractor, cutting hay or baling hay or something like that. Sometimes Hillary takes care of all the chores. Yeah, flies. So we'll head back into the house, and that'll be it for chores today. Our fire is ready. We'll put on the chops. Some of these chops are sirloin chops, and they have a bone in the middle. That's a loin chop. And that's a loin chop, but that's a sirloin chop. And I don't like to sell these because you never know how big the bone will be. It looks small on that side, but it's really big on this side. So we usually save those to eat ourselves. And these are the tenderloins. Put them on there. Real fast cook. Put the lid on and cook those for about 4 minutes on each side. Loins. Doesn't take much to cook them. It's easy to overcook them. Close her back up. Let her go 4 more minutes. Smoking away. The chops stay so juicy it just pools on the top of them. And those, so you can see the juice come right out of them. Perfect way to do tenderloin. Really tender. For us, there's something really meaningful about sitting down to dinner with meat that was raised here on the farm and vegetables and products that we know where they came from. Maybe it makes it taste better, I don't know. And a family dinner is something that's always been important to us. So this is about the end of our day, and so we'll close this video. And if you like this video, please subscribe and please give it a thumbs up. Right, guys?
Yes.
That's all the enthusiasm we can get. Yeah, please subscribe.
Well, even the clouds are saying please subscribe. It's just Sunday.
Have a good evening.